A daily dose of divine, huh?
That's about right.
I like it. So you wanted to take a closer look at Matthew 11:16-19.
Yeah.
And I got to say, this is a pretty fascinating passage. It's where Jesus is kind of expressing frustration, feeling rejected by the very people he's trying to help.
Yeah, and it's interesting how he expresses that frustration, right? I mean, it's powerful because it highlights this feeling that I think we can all relate to some extent. That sense of being misunderstood, like you're trying so hard to get an important message across.
Yeah.
And nobody's quite getting it.
Yeah, it's almost like you're speaking a different language sometimes.
Exactly.
And the way Jesus describes it, using this metaphor of children playing games,
Yeah.
it's so striking. It really paints this picture of people kind of being caught up in the superficial stuff, and they're missing the deeper meaning
Right.
of what
Totally.
he's trying to teach.
Yeah, and it's not just about religion or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's this timeless observation about human nature.
Really?
We can get so caught up in the distractions of life,
Yeah.
day-to-day grind, all the noise,
Yeah.
and we miss the bigger picture.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, think about your own life, right?
Totally.
Have you ever been so focused on the day-to-day that you missed something really important?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Or even like pushed away a good idea too quickly.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you just weren't in the right headspace to receive it. And this passage really makes you examine that.
Yeah. I think the source material called this the paradox of divine wisdom.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such an interesting phrase because you have Jesus who represents this ultimate wisdom, right? And even he is being rejected. So it makes you kind of wonder,
Right.
what causes people to be resistant to even the most valuable insights?
It's a great question, isn't it? And the source actually goes on to explore that. It talks about how it's not just a religious concept. It applies to all areas of life. Think about times you've personally resisted a new idea or a change. Like, what was going on there? Maybe it was pride or fear or just plain stubbornness.
Or just not being ready to
Yeah, exactly.
hear it.
Those human tendencies can really make us blind to things that might actually benefit us.
And the source material really emphasizes the importance of open-mindedness.
For sure.
Because in the passage, the people just completely shut down Jesus' message.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even consider it.
Right, and that's something we can all work on, right?
Absolutely.
Being more open to different perspectives, even if they initially make us uncomfortable, even if they challenge our preconceived notions.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting how the source material asks some really thought-provoking questions about that.
Right.
Like, what experiences have shaped your views, and what would it take for you to be more receptive to ideas that challenge those views?
Yeah.
It's a real invitation to self-reflection.
Yeah. And one thing I found really hopeful in all of this is what the source calls the vindication of wisdom.
Okay, yeah.
Even though Jesus was rejected at that moment, his message hasn't disappeared.
Yeah.
It obviously still resonates with people all over the world today.
Absolutely, right. And that's such an important reminder for all of us, It's so easy to get discouraged when we face resistance.
Yeah.
To feel like our efforts are going nowhere.
Right. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, but the source reminds us that truth and wisdom have a way of enduring. They might not always be immediately accepted.
Right.
But they have a lasting impact. And it made me think, have you ever seen that play out in your own life?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like maybe an idea you shared or a stand you took didn't land at first, but maybe it ended up influencing things down the line.
Absolutely. I mean, all the time. It's like planting a seed, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't see the results for years.
Exactly.
But it doesn't mean it wasn't worth doing.
Nope.
So wrapping up this daily dose of divine,
I love that.
the core message here is to stay true to your purpose and your message, even when you encounter resistance. Wisdom might take time to find its way.
Yeah.
But it has a way of doing just that. It's like a river. Eventually it carves its path.
It really is.
So I want to leave you with something to chew on, okay? From the source's reflection questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
What's one area of your life where you could be just a little bit more open-minded? What's one small step you could take to shift your perspective, even just slightly?
That's a good one.
Because sometimes those tiny shifts can lead to big changes.
Absolutely. I love that. The daily dose of divine and a challenge.
There you go.